As we say hello and welcome to the virtual Pocono Raceway here for the iSNF Cup Series here for week 20 here for season 11. As we'll see everybody come here to the Tricky Triangle for the first time. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator. Sorry, just focusing on some stuff in the background here as we've had some technical difficulties here with our graphics team and our graphics department here. Usually the ticker we're used to seeing here for the iSNF Cup Series with the new iRacing update has, at least for my end, corrupted it. So where it won't even launch. So we're going back to our normal route here, where we're going to be using the ATVO live timing and scoring for the iSNF Cup Series. We usually do use the SDK software here, but unfortunately I can't even get it to launch here with the new system stuff. I know iRacing did add some features to the sim that might be freaking out the SDK system versus ATVO, which goes hand in hand with the sim, and I know they work really closely with the sim to make sure that everything looks good. So we're not gonna have any fancy points graphics tonight, as we kind of just had to jump into ATVO last second here. But I can do by Audible here. I can talk to you guys about your points coming into tonight's race for season 11, week 20. Thomas Flynn comes in here leading the points here in that Hendrick 24. 55 points above Justin Johnson in the number 22 machine. You see back there Chris Otto, 69 points. Mark Gonzalez, 89 points. Cody Meadows, your top five, 111 points. And Charles Roberson, 126 points. Everybody else out of contention from winning from being able to lock their way into racing for a championship here. As you see Craig Lautenslaughter, Will Austin, Joey Maines, Jeff Weimer, the top 10 in points, and rounding out your top 16 in the chase. Nicholas Johnson in 11th, Jason Steptoe in 12th. Actually, this isn't right at all. Parker Strainer at Steven Sear, Gabe Ledger, and Rhea Ferris. I believe Steptoe did not make it in on points, so I believe this is just like a season-wide points, so I'm not sure if this is even correct for the chase format. We'll have to see here because I don't see a graphic in the Discord that is updated for the chase standings. So the last update I see from Chris Otto was made in May. We're now in June, so gonna be interesting to see. But we'll go down the trackside to see some of your fastest drivers here on track tonight. And it's obviously gonna look a little bit different than you guys are used to seeing here on the iSNF Cup Series, but we're just gonna have to roll fit for tonight. We look at some drivers here. Is actually Justin Johnson in number 22 machine. Fastest in practice here in that 22 Penske Ford. Now, if we do have to switch over to ATVO for the time being, as SDK tries to figure out what is, it might be a computer thing. We don't know yet, and maybe my PC just cannot handle SDK, which would be unfortunate. Which probably would mean that we'd have to end our broadcasting partnership with the iSNF Cup Series because they're really keen on having SDK here in the sim. I would hope that wouldn't happen because, we made a good connection with Rhea and the whole team here over in iSNF. But you see Mark Gonzalez in the number 2 machine here. He's actually P3 in practice. Your fastest lap times here in practice here on the right side of your screen. Obviously, no custom numbers tonight, but we will be getting those fixed for tomorrow. For next week, there is they head further. I believe they go to Nashville Super Speedway next week. We will get those fixed for you guys. Obviously, we had to pull up the ATVO ticker last second here, so we're gonna do the best we can. Obviously, I know Rhea's probably not the happiest when it comes to having to use this, as she's worked her tail off trying to get SDK working, but unfortunately there's an update with SDK. There was an update with the sim this last week that has just made it incompatible. Michael Kruger, his first start here in the iSNF Cup Series. Filling in for the 10 machine. I believe Jimmy Johnson's in that car full time as he's filling in for Phil Manzo, right? So there's a lot of fillings tonight. So Michael Kruger, we actually saw him last night there in the AWC Pro Series. He's filling in for the first time here. Yeah, Michael Kruger in for Jimmy Johnson making his Cup debut. DJ Daniels back in for the 19 as we see practice ending here. Matt Metler in for Martin Roberg. Devin Trusty in for Frank DeAngelis. So we're ready to get in the qualifying here from Pocono for the Keystone 250. See some drivers already out on track here. Wyatt Roberts and no, Cody Meadows, actually the first car on track here in this Wild Bosch number 12 machine. It's like a throwback paint here. It looks like almost a Ryan Newman homage here. I haven't really seen this car before, but very unique looking car in its own right. We have 10 minutes of qualifying here, so that would make me think that we have 4 laps to set a lap. I remember back in the day when I used to run here in the iSNF Cup Series that usually if it was 10 minutes, it was 4 laps here. So I'm unsure. I know we're at least given 2 laps here. Obviously, they got to be clean laps. And Pocono can be pretty tricky, especially out of the corners here, getting up into that outside wall. I'm going to be interested to see what Cody Meadows can do here. He comes into 1 and 2. Technically turn 1. Remember, 3, you know, it's interesting the story of what do you call Pocono? Is it a triangle? Does it have 3 turns or does it have like 5 turns, right? Because you could consider the turn he just came in there as the turn 1 and 2 and then back into 3. And then down here into 4 and 5, right? So really interesting. Go across the stripe. Cody will start his first time lap. Let's right on board here with the club machine to see if he can show us how it's done here. See him downshifting here in the 4th gear. This should be your first lap times up there. James Bulls top of the board, 35.755. See White Roberts back there, 53.7, right? Cody keeps it in 4th here. Through turn 3. Oh, up in the outside wall. Is Cody gonna? That's interesting. So that's his 3rd lap. Cody, I don't think is gonna get a lap time in. So we'll see him start to burn it down there on the front stretch. You see your fastest times right now at the top of the board. There's still Michael Kruger in that 10 machine. Across the stripe, we'll see if he can improve. It looks like he'll be right around the same lap time there, 53.38. Dewey Ferris in the 66 across the stripe here. Currently P14, 55.07.7. Not improving yet. Gonzalez out on track here. Isaac Wilson back in the 40 machine. Doing a couple of part-time runs here in the iSNF Cup Series. Isaac, this will be his first time lap. Turn 1 down here into turn 2. Do the tunnel turn. Back here through turn 3. Across the stripe, we'll see what Isaac runs here. 54.1. He might have got the wall because I don't see him with an allowed lap time. See your top 19 on the board right there. Mike Iskandar, last of the people that set a lap right now, 56.3 versus Michael Kruger's 53.3. So 56.5 actually. See Chris Otto up in the top 3. Mark Gonzalez across the stripe, P5 for that driver. You'll KO that car on the outside wall. Isaac Wilson on his second lap here out of turn 3. .7. P9 for Isaac. Good lap for him. Got some drivers still trying to get some lap time set. Looks like Justin Johnson on his second lap. Justin's last lap 109.9, and I'm not gonna be able to see if he's gonna improve at all because I assume he's gonna improve quite a bit here. It looks like maybe he was trying to save those tires that first lap to get a good flyer here in the second lap potentially. Here we go, out of turn 3. We'll see a 22 come across the boards here. We'll see what kind of lap time he wants to set here. 153.6. Move him up into the 8th place spot. A good lap for Justin there. P2 on points. See Larry Fairman down here, parked it. P21. Bob White. There's a couple of drivers who haven't set a lap yet. Cody Meadows obviously knocked the wall down there out of 3. He's not going to be able to set a lap. And some other drivers just haven't elected to come out on track yet. So continue to look at some drivers. So this shows me right now, it looks like Mark Gonzalez is going to come out here. He's running someone else. Remember, he KO'd this car. It looks like he might have reset, which tells me they probably had potentially 4 laps. Because here comes Mark to start his 4th lap. He did blink that time, and you'll see him actually slow this car down to a whoa. As we still have 2 minutes left in qualifying. Nobody on track right now. So we do have a couple drivers who haven't set a lap time yet. David Anderson in the Trackhouse 97. Eugene Thorne in the 34. Obviously, we saw Cody Meadows attempt a lap. He knocked the wall down there. Not going to count. Terrence Preston, another Trackhouse machine. Back there in 88 has not set a lap time. Alyssa Sharp in the Joe Gibbs 54. And Bob Wyckoff in that Haas factory car has decided to not set a lap here tonight. Here from Pocono is now we're in the time zone now where no one, even if they wanted to, can go out there and set a better lap. Is they won't have enough time because we're running at what 53-second lap times now as we're approaching the 1 minute mark here. So you see, everybody's qualifying time scrolling across the left side of your screen here. Michael Kruger in his debut will get the pole here from Pocono. Obviously, we know him from the AWC Pro Series that we just saw last week. Michael Kruger trying to race his way into another win there from Daytona. He comes in here for his first start here in the iSNF Cup Series. He's going to grab the pole here from the Tricky Triangle. Just like that, you see the time on the ticker continuing the countdown here. 20 seconds on and counting. Looking at your top 10 there, you see Isaac Wilson up into the P10 position. Joey Maines up there, 9th. Justin Johnson, 8th. Craig Lautenslaughter, P7. Nicholas Johnson, P6. Mark Gonzalez, Will Austin, Chris Otto, Thomas Flynn, and we already talked about your pole sitter for tonight's race, Michael Kruger, in his first start here in the iSNF Cup Series. We'll get the pole here from Pocono. As we get ready to head into tonight's race, 100 laps here from the Tricky Triangle. Stages on lap 25 and lap 50. So we will have to slow these cars down at least twice here. Ride 2 stage breaks. We do have 4 extra sets of tires here for tonight's race here, including the sets they have on now. So 5 total, 4 extra sets of tires. 60% fuel, just like always here from the iSNF Cup Series. And no fast repairs, as it is not a crown jewel event. We do not get fast repairs. As we wait on everybody to get loaded in. Get ready to go here. 100 laps here. Pocono Raceway. It's Thomas Flynn. We've talked about him all season. Trying to secure this championship. Remember, we see him coming in 55 points, I believe, above Justin Johnson, as Justin still had a good race last week. But Thomas Flynn, even better, right? So, well, no, actually Justin beat the 24, but the 24 was able to, I believe Justin got a P2 finish last week, and Thomas was able to come home P6. So he's always able to continue to knock out these top 10 finishes. You see right there him qualifying P2 here from Pocono. As we'll get ready to take a look at your starting lineup here, presented by HVTV. You'll see the 10 machine of Michael Kruger, your pole sitter there for tonight's race. Thomas Flynn and the number 24 rounding out that row 1. You'll see Chris Otto and the Napa number 9 machine back there, P3, and the MGM RCR number 3 of Will Austin back there rounding out your top 4. Mark Gonzalez and the Penske number 2 back there in 5th. Nick Johnson and the 20 back there in 6th. The 77 of Craig Lautenslaughter will qualify P7 alongside Justin Johnson and the number 22 Penske Ford. Joey Maines and Isaac Wilson round out your top 10. Looking back here at P11, it's going to be the number 35 of James Bowles, Jeff Weimer in the 60 back there in P12. Charles Roberson and Wyatt Roberts round out your top 14. Back there the 15th, you'll look at Steven Sear and Devin Trusty, I believe, in the 51, or is that Scott Trusty? I know we have both Trusties in the field, I believe. I believe that's Scott Trusty in the 51. As it is, you'll see John Hopley, Matt Metler back there filling in the 43 machine. Kane Johnson in the 45, Parker Stranger in the 42, rounding out your top 20. Looking back here, further back on, rounding out the rest of the field here. Larry Fairman, Matt Giskandar in the 1 machine, Aria Ferris in the 66, Alyssa Sharp in the 54. Cody Meadows, Terrence Preston, Eugene Thorne, David Anderson, and Bob Wyckoff round out the 29 car field from Pocono here to start week number 20. Taking a look at your race weather for tonight's broadcast. 76 degree air temp, 93 degree track temp. So it's going to be hot and slick here from Pennsylvania. We look at a 45% humidity, little to no wind, and a partly cloudy sky for tonight's Saturday evening race. As we're ready to go. 100 laps here from Pocono Raceway. You see the lights off on the pace car. Moving around through turn 3. See the pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road. We'll get ready to go. 100 laps here from Pocono. We'll hand the race over to Barney of the Flagman. We're ready to go green for week number 20. Across the stripe we go. Michael Kruger keeps the race lead here and leads your first lap of the race here as we head down back into 1 and 2. Everybody trying to get single file for the most part here. See Thomas Flynn further on back there trying to make something work. Will Austin keeps his spot back there, up 1 spot in the P3. He gets around Chris Otto in the 9, and Chris Otto finds his way back there. But you see 2, 3 wide further on back there. Joey Maines trying to make a spot there on the 77 of Craig Lautenschlager. You see the 60. Jeff Weimer trying to make a move there as well. They're going to have to get back in line there, right in front of the 11 of Charles Erberson. Further on back, you see a battle. Steven, that's the 21 of Rhea Ferris. John Hopley in the 4 machine. Rhea. No, that's not Rhea anymore. That is the 21 of Wyatt Roberts. I'm so used to seeing Wyatt Rhea in the 21. I called it the wrong name right there. Good on up. Everybody getting single file once again. Been passing in the back there. The 45. He gets around the 51 of Trusty. Shane Johnson up a couple spots here. Looking at some big movers. James Bulls up 3 spots. Oh man, and an aggressive block to the 35. The 22, Justin. Trying to keep the spots here. He's already up 1 spot. James Bulls all over the back end of this 22 machine. You see single file throughout the whole field here, and a little bit of a 5-car breakaway from the rest of the field here. You see Nicholas Johnson in this front 5, trying to get away from the rest of the field. Further back, Mark Gonzalez, this is 6th on back. The 2 machine, the 2 Penske Fords, 6th and 7th. You see the Joey Maines machine back there in the 48, back there in 8th. Just finding their own time right now. Remember, he's got 25 laps to get around this track before we get that first guaranteed caution. Other 77 try to make a move on James Bulls, but draft is going to mean a lot here from Pocono. See the 77 trying to get around. It doesn't have the momentum. Joey Maines looking for a pass out of 22. He makes it work. He's up into the P7 position. Everybody keeping it pretty clean and green here at the start of the race. No, knock on wood here. And Pocono is one of those tracks that you will see, you know, the spread out racing. You'll start to see, you know, the green flag runs and the actual strategy start to pick up here. So, some contact between the 48 and the 2 there. Joey Maines will muscle his way around the 2 machine there. Is the 2 blinking out here? That's the 2 of Mark Gonzalez. That's going to slow him up. Here comes the 35 of James Bulls. Really tricky spot to make the pass work here through turn 2. While trying to hold on, he'll keep the spot for now. Battle up front here. See Michael Kruger continuing to try to pull away from the rest of the field here. Thomas Flynn trying to keep him in his sights. You see these front 5. A huge gap further back on. Once you get past the front 5 here, run it out by Shane Nick Johnson. And you see a battle further on back now. Here comes the 3. Looking underneath the 24. Will Austin trying to make the move for P2. Gonna have to drive it in here in the 3 and 4. Well, on the turn 3, technically. The 24 with the momentum off the top, and it's already showing now. It's going to be really hard to pass throughout the day here. Here comes now to 9. Chris Otto trying to retake the third place spot from where he started. Otto with the nose out in front, but the 3 with the momentum off the top. Going to re-clear the 9. And this might be an attrition. I wouldn't say an attrition race, but this might be a race of, can you work with someone, to stay with someone and to make up time? Because it seems like when you pass and you get, 2 by 2, it really slows you up, right? So if I'm looking back here at like Joey Maines and Justin Johnson back here. Can these guys work together, kind of push each other out, and just be content back here, in 6th and 7th to try to go back up and catch the field here instead of trying to pass here? Unless you are a lot faster than the driver in front of you, I would say it's okay to be content pushing out that car in front to, make some time down the straights, right? Because fighting is just only going to slow you down. You see already now, a 4.5 second gap back to P6. This is Joey Maines and Justin Johnson back here in 6th and 7th, right? Or already a 4.5 second gap. Back to the leader. Be a big gaggle of cars further on back, trying to battle it out, trying to make some track position up. Charles Roberson trying to make up a couple spots here down the front stretch. He's up 2 spots from where he started back there at P13. The 77 off the nose of the 11. Caution will wave. Very interesting. We saw that happen live. Take another look at this from a different camera angle. The 77. And the 11 just comes up. He gets the 77 there. We saw some contact. The 77 kind of came down and kind of doored the 11 a little bit down the track. But then the 11 just kind of turned. You see that contact there, and I don't even know if that was from the 77. Obviously, you see the 77 slightly pulled off the wall, a little bit of net code. And then you just see the 11 here up the track here. And it just gets into the left rear. I was looking to see if there was net code, but there was definitely contact there. Jeff Weimer gets involved in this one again. Oh man, poor Jeff. Everybody else, I believe, gets through this pretty cleanly here. You see the 11 parking it, locking it down here. Gets it back going, but caution will wave here for the first time here on lap 11. Just 2 cars. I don't know if they're maybe just going for the same spot. It just looked like the 11 got into the left rear of the 77, and he'll go around. Obviously, Jeff Weimer we saw get involved as well. You see some damage to the Weimer machine, some left front damage here on that RFK 60 machine. We'll probably see him take that car down pit side. Get some damage fixed there. It's wrong place, wrong time for Weimer. You'll see some fake outs here. Well, here comes kind of the back half of the field here. And I was about to say, if you're honestly 7th or 8th on back, I'm going to come down pit road, at least top off on fuel. If you want tires, I guess take them. We've only ran 12 laps. Granted, 12 laps is quite a bit of time here when it comes to Pocono, but still, you know, yeah, it looks like a lot of just stopping those, trying to make sure they can make it on fuel here for stage 2. Yeah, a little blink out of Michael Cougar there, but you'll see it looks like the top 12. I'm going to stay out here. So look at this. Cody Meadows trying to save fuel here. He's got the 21. That is a teammate of Wyatt Roberts pushing him down the straightaways here, trying to save some fuel. Two eerily similar looking cars here tonight. You'll see the pace car. Lights should go off here. Michael Kruger will pick the top, it looks like, so that'll give Thomas Flynn the bottom. Michael Kruger continues to lead laps. Only driver to lead laps this race for now. He showed some pretty impeccable pace here in his rookie debut here in the Colic 10. Now, granted, Michael is not, you know, a new face to the, you know, high velocity TV channel. You know, he's obviously ran in the AWC Pro Series for, I believe, 2 seasons now, and he's shown pretty good pace there as well. And obviously now this is a brand new car that we've seen him in. We've never seen him in the next gen, but we see now that he knows how to get it done potentially here. Could potentially win in his first start. Only a few drivers have been able to do that. Look at the likes of like Dylan Basin and those types of drivers. Alan Smith. Those guys, I mean, he would join an elite company if he could get it done here from Pocono to win in his debut. But once again, you'll see the pace car take another hard left turn down pit road as we exit turn 3. And we'll hand the race back over to Michael Kruger to get ready to get back into the restart zone. And back green here from Pocono. Pretty decent jump out of the 10. He's going to bring the 20 with him. So battled out for the P2 spot. Thomas Flynn, Nicholas Johnson. Johnson with a good run off the top. He'll take the P2 spot away from the 24. Now it's going to be Thomas Flynn trying to hold on. Like, this is the best opportunity these drivers have to make up some spots here early. Everybody's stacked together. Everybody's 2x2. Everybody's trying to build momentum, right? You see the 22. Justin Johnson looking at the outside of Will Austin here early. Battle for the P4 position. We'll try to grab it in the corner. The 22 will use that top side. Try to build momentum off exit. The 24. I mean, in the 22. Try to eke out the 3 here going into turn 1. You see a little bit of contact. The 3 trying to side draft the 22 back. Not going to make it happen. See Justin Johnson up to the Q4 spot. Now here comes Chris Otto underneath the 3 here, going into turn 1 and 2. Turn 1. Side by side going through 2. This is going to be a vulnerable spot for the 3. Gonna have to give the space here. For the 9. The 9 looks like a little upset there on the corner entry. Out of 3. Well, Austin will keep the P4 spot. Justin Johnson with an issue. He'll give up the P3 position. Now he'll be under attack from the drivers behind. Nine trying to build momentum on that top side. Gonna try to get back to the 22 here, going into turn 2. This time, the 10 of Michael Kruger not really getting away as much as he did that last run. He's got the 20 of Nicholas Johnson all over the back end. And you don't see this 10 trying to break the draft yet, at least. He's got enough of a gap, he doesn't need to do that. Nice start to see everybody get single file once again. Battle back here. Comes the 2 of Mark Gonzalez. Bottom of 3. Try to get around Isaac Wilson. Isaac gonna hold it tough on the top side though. And he'll get the draft. Down the front stretch. Mark gonna have to drop back in line. The 77 back here. He's trying to get back through the field after, contacting the 11. He's pushed him further back in the pack. Joey Maines back here as well. And Joey Maines was inside the, the top 10. Now back here in 19th. Battle between the 48 and the 77. These are the 2 potential front runners back here outside the top 15. Battle ensuing for the race lead. Nicholas Johnson looking underneath the 10 of Michael Kruger. Looks like he's going to make that pass work. And Nicholas Johnson, if he can keep the spot here through 3, will be the first driver to lead laps that isn't that 10 machine. We approach lap 20, 5 to go in the first stage. Only 1 car lap down. That is the 66 of Rhea Ferris. She's actually down pit side right now. Running in the pits for an extended amount of time. Hopefully she's doing okay. See the 10 underneath the 20. Trying to take the lead right back, but the 20 using the top side. Going to get that momentum back up. Cougar not going to be able to do anything with that. See battle. Further on back here, Scott Trusty, Cody Meadows. And Cody tried to flip this stage here by staying out. You know, he's going to potentially get some stage points. He can hold on here, but he does have his teammate. The 21 putting pressure on him. The 5 is Steven Sear back there as well. Good run by Steven up inside the top 12. Hasn't had the best of luck this season when it comes to getting caught up and stuff, especially since the chase has started. Johnson trying to make a move on the 24. Michael Kruger trying to make a move on the 20. Everybody trying to move up, and with these two battling it out, it's allowed the 3 of Will Austin to move his way back. There you see the 20, and in the back end of the 10 there trying to, I don't know if that was a crossover, maybe just some frustration. But he'll lose the lead once again, and Michael Kruger back to the point. Well, he's going to have a run, though, going in the turn 1 if he wants to take it. There he goes. Going to look inside. Not going to make it work. Let's get back in line here. We'll see what he'll do in the turn 2. Oh, the 20 in the outside wall. Caution. And now land your stage early. Kruger will get it. Like Larry Fairman. Might have had an issue. If we can see what happened to Larry here. There he goes. This gets loose here into turn 1. So overdrives entry there, just trying to save it. Up into the outside wall he'll go. And then finally spins it out here on the exit of turn 1. Caution away if that'll end your stage early. Michael Kruger will get stage 1 here in his debut. And with stage 1 done, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here. And we'll be right back here to potentially show you some green flag pit stops here to see who gets out first.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome you back live here to the Pocono Raceway. The Tricky Triangle here for week 20 of the season season 11 of the iSNF Cup Series, as we'll go back trackside to see where everybody came out of pit road here. Justin L. Johnson, Cody Meadows, Joey Manger, top 3. Out of pit road here, and you look back at Michael Kruger, he'll come back out here in 8th place. A little bit of a strategy call here, so we look back. And the top 3 were only in their box for about, at most, of 9 seconds there. Cody Meadows the longest with the 9-second stop. Justin Johnson just under, and then you look at Joey Main, 6.6 seconds in the box. So this is definitely a fuel-only call here for these front 3. Back here to Thomas Flynn, everybody on back for the most part. 4 tires. You look at Matt Medler, he's up into the top 6 now, but he also took fuel only, as he was in the box for 9.3 seconds. He could have taken 2 tires potentially, but definitely a different strategy call versus the rest of the field. Mark Gonzalez, he'll take the hard left turn down pit road again. So he'll give up all that track position to go to the back. Well, go back up here to the front. It'll be a Team Penske front row with 22 Justin Johnson and 12 of Cody Meadows. We'll get a new leader once again here from Pocono, as Justin has led, obviously, the pace laps here. We've only seen 2 other leaders, and it's been the 20 and the 10 of Kruger and Nicholas Johnson in that 20 machine. Looking back at Nicholas Johnson, he's all the way back in P20. Might have got some damage from smacking that outside wall. See him back there in 20th. It looks like a 31.5-second stop for him in that 20 team. But you do see lights off on the pace car. We'll be going green this time by. You'll see the pace car take a hard left turn down pit road. Gonna be a Team Penske front row. We'll hand the race back over to Justin Johnson in that Pennzoil Shell 22 machine back to green here to start lap number 27. Good job by the 22. Starting to see some 3 wide already. Joey Mains look 3 wide there. Trying to make the pass work for that P2 position. Cody Meadows able to hold on tight. Here comes the top side here. And a freight train around the 48 here. Here comes Michael Kruger. Top side again, up inside the top 5 already. You see, he looks pretty dangerous here early this race. He can keep that car clean. He's going to be a contender if he can keep that car up there. 2 by 2 back there for P3. Cody Meadows trying to hold on. Block that top side. Cody Meadows trying to hold on, trying to keep this 12 out in front. Trying to block both lanes. Here comes Droverson, looking bottom at 3 back there. We're going to look underneath the 12 here for the pass here for this P2 spot. Momentum off the top. Cody Meadows up at the outside wall. But then battling it out. That's allowed Justin Johnson to get away a little bit. Cody trying to hold off on the older tires. Remember, these guys took fuel only, I believe, this last caution. Everybody else came down, took fresh Goodyear tires. Cody Meadows trying to hold on. Justin Johnson trying to get away. Battling further on back. Joey Maines, Charles Roberson, Will Austin. Battling it out there for that P5 position. In my opinion, if you want to make a pass on the bottom, you might have to have someone to work with you, right? If you get a run on the bottom, you might have to have someone come on down and push you down the straightaways here. They kind of negate, you know, how much advantage the top has. Comes to Roberson top. And try to work with the 48. This is exactly what I was talking about. Now the 11 actually giving a push to the 48 there. Trying to keep him side by side with the 30, the 48 up in the outside wall. Here comes the 11 at the bottom. Roberson will try to clear here for the P5 position. P6, my apologies. It's easy will. Wyatt Roberts putting the pressure on Matt Metler. Metler, one of those drivers who took the tragedy to get some track position here. Starting to get taken advantage of here with those older tires. See Wyatt Roberts around. Now you'll see Nicholas Johnson back up inside the top 10. Matt Medler rounds out your top 10 for now, but he's going to have a handful with the 77, catching him in a pretty timely fashion. I wasn't aware that Old Spice was sponsoring the Cup car. We saw the Old Spice logo there on the deck lid of the 43 here for Legacy Motor Club. Just you can see that. Cody Meadows managing to try to hold on here. Now some pressure from the 10 of Michael Kruger. Found the loss of momentum there. Got it around the 24, tried to get around the 12. Had to lose the momentum, had to lift there. Lost him the spot back to the 24. Now Thomas Flynn trying to size up this 12 machine. The 12 right in front of the 24. You saw some contact. Here comes the 10 to the bottom once again. Kruger with the drive down here in the 1. Can he get around the 24? He's going to be side by side with Meadows. Going to try to do a 2-for-1. Not going to make it work. He can find a gap here. He's going to try to take it. Not going to make it happen. He's going to once again have to concede the spot to the 24. Going into 1 and 2. No, he won't. You'll see him still side by side as this 22 is actually backed up to this battle for second. Wonder if Justin's just trying to back up the manage pace here, if those tires are starting to show here, because now here comes the 10. Trying to get around the 12 here, but once again, this draft from the top side is too overpowered. 24 cannot get around Cody Meadows, but the 10 doesn't have enough of a run to get around everybody. Here comes the 24 to the bottom. 24 is going to get clear. The 12, Cody Meadows back to P3. Thomas Flynn up to the P2 spot, but Cody Meadows with the crossover. Gonna try to make the spot work here in the turn 2. So, oh, the 10's going to go around off the bumper of the 11. I'm pretty sure Michael Kruger somehow saves that. I'm going to go back and take a look and see. Oh, it was the 3 who checked up. And then the 11's just trying to keep it off of him. The 3 just really like parked it there. Michael Kruger gets into the back, saves it. What a save by the 10. Further on up, Thomas Flynn. Putting the pressure on the 22 now. See Justin starting to do the weave here that we've seen for a long time here at Pocono. Trying to break the drive, try to take away the advantage here, but you see this 22. The pace is falling off of Justin here. And you still got 15 laps to hold on to this. And do everything you can to stay ahead of the 24. Issue not only does he have the 24, he has the 3 behind him. As the caution will wave. Okay, Bob Wyckoff potentially having an issue here. Bob in at 41. Going into turn 3, I believe. Oh, man. You don't see that on the sim a whole lot there. There must have been like a hardware malfunction or something. I mean, that's what you see in real life when you blow a tire. And Bob stopped on track here. I presume maybe his monitors went off, or maybe if he's in VR, his VR headset turned off or something like that. You don't normally see that any time here in the sim. Gosh, will for Bob Wyckoff having some mechanical hardware issues here from Pocono. I mean, you can't really blame Bob for kind of panicking like that. You know, a lot of people would say, hey, if you're having an issue, you know, always just Alt F4, and you know, some leagues will give you your lap back if you do that, right? But obviously in the spur of the moment, sometimes you don't think, oh, I need an Alt F4, I need to get out of the sim. You're just trying to figure out, you know, how to get out of the way, how to not kill your car. I don't know if Justin wanted that caution, because, I mean, he was trying to hold on here. Granted, he's going to get a heat cycle in these tires. I was going to have everybody up on him, right? He only had the pressure from the 3 and the 24. Now will the 22 come down pit road? Or will he stay out on track? See the 10 of Kruger down pit side. 43 of Matt Metler down pit side. You'll see basically everybody outside the top 15 coming down pit road. See if we can talk to the 22 of Justin Johnson, as he's trying to do a little bit of a different strategy here. See if we can talk to the 22. Hey, Justin, it's Christian up here in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, leading the race here with just over, 10 to go here in stage one. Obviously, you're a little bit of a different strategy around the cars around you. Came down, took at the very least fuel only here. I don't know if you took two or not. We couldn't see that up here in the booth, but obviously a little bit of a tire disadvantage trying to hold off the rest of the field here. How's the car feeling?
I'm feeling pretty okay. I took no tires on that last stop, so I really wanted the clean air. And I think the payoff has definitely been worth it. I'm up front leading some laps, getting some bonus points, and hopefully can hold off for the last 10 here for the stage.
Yeah, obviously the goal is to stay ahead of that 24. They could continue to try to knock down and kind of nickel and dime them to death here these last couple of races here. I mean, do you think you can hold off some of these guys on these older tires here for these last 10 laps?
We'll certainly do our best, and as you said, nickel and diamond over the 24. That's all I really can do at the moment. So just trying to find where I can get points and he doesn't get points.
We'll have to see what you do here. We see you pick the top here, but getting back one to green, we wish you good luck here in the rest of the stage too.
All right, thank you. Hopefully I come back later.
Yeah, we'll see. Justin Johnson picks the top here. It'll be the 22 on the top, 24 on the bottom. And it's always funny, obviously I'm happy that the network has brought some new drivers to iSNF and stuff, but it's funny because I've always known, Michael Kruger is a Ford guy, right? He drives the 41 in the AWC Pro Series, and now you see him in a 10 colleague machine, right? And he's further back now. So he came down period. He'll start P14, 7th on the top. You see Cody Meadows, he's that back there. He'll actually, maybe that's partially why Justin picked the top there. Is he's got Cody Meadows back there in fourth. He'll probably get the countdown to if he can get those two clear. Or at least Cody at the very least side by side with the 24. That'll help his case a little bit more, keeping this lead here for the stage win. We'll just have to see is once again the pace car off. We'll hand the race back over. Justin Johnson at 22, and just like that, back green, a good jump by the 22. And Cody Meadows, Thomas Flynn, side by side for that P2 spot. Cody needs to get most likely clear here through 1 and 2. He wants to keep it here. Here comes the 11 though. Charles Roberson gonna make it middle 3. Gonna be tight here out of turn 1. Still 3 wide here for P2. Thomas, he backs out of it there. Charles blinking a little bit. It's going to make it hard for Cody to try to race him. Let's see, actually Charles is clear for the P2 spot, the 11. Remember, he's already been caught up in a wreck, but already up here inside the top 3 already here. Towards the end of stage 2. This 11 looks really quick here early. Oh, Cody Meadows up into the outside wall. Hard contact between him and the outside wall. He's going to get swarmed by the drivers behind. Here comes Thomas Flynn at the top. The 77 of Watschlager. Here goes the 45. And Cody Meadows going to save it, but the 77s go around. Caution will wave. I believe that was the 35 of James Bowles who was the one who made that contact with Cody. We'll go back to the 70. We'll go back to the 12 actually and take a look and see what happened between these two drivers. So you saw Cody hit the outside wall here. Just trying to limp it around here. And then you see a huge run from the 35 here. He's going to drive it down super deep into the corner. Cody tries to make a block. Gets contact from the 35, and he saves it, but fortunately, he kind of just lands in the lap of the 77. And it kind of, put the 77 in a bad spot. And Craig will go around here. And he'll actually be the one who brings out the caution, not the 12. Not on board here with the 77. That little bit of contact is enough to get that 77 upset there. Caution will wave here for the third time. For incident here from Pocono. And while we're looking, it looks like the 11 actually took the lead away from the 22. Charles Roberson potentially up to the front. Charles will at least lead some laps here under caution. Presumably he should be able to pretty easily stay ahead of this 22. As remember, the 22 tire disadvantage compared to this 11 machine. So you'll see lights on the pace car. I mean, and granted, if I don't know, like if you're just adjusted, I think you like to see the caution here because it's just less laps that you have to sit under green, and it's just more laps that you can pace around here with the track position. You're still ahead of the 24, right? I think it's. I don't think if you're. I think if you're the 22, you don't mind the caution getting thrown there. You're really thinking your teammate there for kind of instigating that caution, making the block, and then kind of getting told to move, and then ended up taking out someone else, right? Granted, Cody Meadows' tires are gone now. He's going to have to just hold on here for the rest of the stage. Actually, Cody Meadows down pit side here. Still down pit road, actually. Granted, pit road, granted, this track's pretty big, so you can get away with coming down and taking extended time down pit side, getting away with it, but Cody Meadows has got to get going here as he is out of pit road. But yeah, well, what I thought we'd see, the 11 will pick the top, 22 on the bottom, which is kind of a disadvantage to Thomas, right? Because he has to go off of the 22, not the 11. You can't change lanes before we get to the line. Will be Carl's on the top in that 11 machine. The 22 of Justin Johnson back there on the bottom in that Penske Ford. Don't do the tunnel turn. We're going through 3 and 4. We'll get a 5-lap shootout here for stage 2. Justin Johnson, hold on. Keep the track position with those old tires. We'll just have to see. But Charles Roberson back to the gears, back green here. 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Justin with a pretty decent restart. You see Reckon in the back. That Joey Maines further back there. That's the 43. Matt Metler around here in the back. We'll have to take a look and see what happened here on the restart. So Matt did not get a good jump here. Isaac Wilson looking inside, looking inside. What's the bumper to the back of the 43? And he's already out of control here. Up the track he goes. Almost gets Joey Maines. He'll stop here in the middle of turn 1. So, is that stage? I'm going to take a educated guess and say that is stage. So we are going to take a quick commercial break one more time here from Pocono for hopefully our final time here. As we get done with stage 2, we'll get ready to come back after a word from our partners over at iRacing. I'm welcoming you back here live from Pocono Raceway and the stage 2. Potentially. If not, we're just going to keep it green here for the end of stage 2. So I'm unsure. I'm pretty sure the caution came out at 45. So it's hard to tell. And I know Ria's not in the session, so I can't ask her if that's stage or not. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the end of stage 2. So Charles Roberson, I believe, will in stage 2. We'll be going back green here I don't think that iSNF would have a one-lap shootout here, so I believe they don't do that. That's kind of the strategy that Justin, I mean, he gets P2 in the stage, jumps to 24. Once again, nickel and dime is what he needs to do, so he got lucky with that caution. Put him in front of the 24. But yeah, some drivers decided to flip these stages of caution. It's going to be the two, I guess, Hendrick aligned cars there, the 40 of Isaac Wilson in that Junior Motorsports entry, and then the 48, obviously, of Joey Maines. They'll lead us to green here. You see the pace car take a hard left turn down pit road. Start the second half of your race here from the Keystone 250. For the first time, we saw the leader pick the bottom. And here comes Charles Roberson at the top side. Still blinking, but he's going to take the race lead away from Isaac. Now looking 3, almost 4 wide out of turn 1. They're being aggressive here to make the position. There goes the 40. Isaac Wilson around, and it's going to grab a couple of 3, 4 cars here. And some more are going to pile in. There goes the 35 off the bumper of someone. Someone just drove in there and KO'd James Bowles there. This all started with Isaac Wilson. Caution will wave. Yeah, it's James Bowles again. Getting Chris Otto, gets Will Austin. There's the 35. And the 35 gets tattooed by the one of Iskandar. You know, I've been singing my praises to Mike these last couple of weeks about him getting that car checked up and, you know, not doing that. And unfortunately today, gets caught by the ARCA braking bug again. Caution will wave here for the 4th time. That's probably race over for a couple of those drivers. I think Chris Otto might be fine. He kind of just pancaked the outside wall. But potentially Will, he's going to have a lot of damage. Obviously, I'm going to say that Mike and James Bowles are potentially done. Those were 2 pretty big impacts. James Bowles Joey Maines able to hold on to the track position. Isaac plummeted back inside the top, like right around that top 5 area, and just unfortunately just got swarmed up by those fresher tires. We'll see that 11 having some connection issues here. I was going to drag in the 11 of James Bowles, the 11 of Charles Roberson, but he's already blinking. I don't want to drag him into a VC and potentially interfere with his connection to the sim. I'd hate to be the reason why he would DC or something, so... thank everybody for coming out and watching the broadcast. Obviously, a little bit different graphics package tonight here for the Cup Series, and obviously not being able to show a lot of what we're used to showing here on the iSNF Cup Series. Obviously, we do have the ability to have some driver pictures and stuff like that. I'm not sure if we have that turned on here for the NBC ticker, but we'd love to do it. But I just today, after we figured out that we weren't going to be able to use SDK, I did reach out to our one of our lead graphic designers here, Andrew Schulte, to see if we could get some more info for the drivers like we're used to seeing here with SDK. So potentially we could just switch over to ATVO and get all that sorted out, right? Potentially, if that's what we wanted to do. I know it can be done. I've worked for some other broadcast networks, some really cool graphics package. I've done some production for Pit Road Productions. You look back at, I did a one-off for the ABN for the HTL, I believe, Cup Series, and they have a lot of cool stuff there. I might have to reach out to Carmen to see if she can, maybe walk us through how to put some more info on the tickers here for these drivers. That'd be really nice, so we can just not have to worry about SDK. SDK is a subscription-based ticker, which I'm not a big fan of, right? When we spend a lot of money on these ATVO tickers, it would definitely make sense if we could still use them and take advantage of them. But we'll just have to see in the future, right? Obviously SDK, I presume, will get back going and get everything looking forward. So we do see lights off on the pace car. Means we'll be back to green here about halfway through this long treacherous Pocono, going down here out of turn 1 down here into the turtle turd. The pace car. Another left-hand turn on the pit road. Gonna be Charles Roberson, the Toyota on the bottom. The Chevy of the 48. Joey Mains on the top. A good jump by the bottom. We're back green here for lap 53. Roberson, a good jump. Starting to get away here. Nicholas Johnson. Johnson. Bounded out for that P2 spot. Remains giving a push to the 22. Not a whole lot Justin can do right now. Going into the tunnel turn is once again another push to the back end of the 22. Remains being pretty patient. Here comes Michael Kruger looking at the inside of the 48. Justin Johnson still trying to battle out with Nicholas. He jumped at the bottom. So now Joey Mains will push the 20. Now he's going to look 3 wide with the 20. He has to back out of it, though. So he's not going to get that draft help. That 20 won't. That'll allow the 22 to still stay side by side down here into turn 2. Oh, 20 into the outside wall. That'll lose a lot of his momentum here. 22 will inch closer now as they get side by side once again through turn 3. Justin will clear. Now here comes Michael Kruger and the 10 machine is the 20, the 48 around. Mark Gonzalez around it. I think they went down pit road. 48 up into the outside wall, and they both, wow, what the, I mean, the 48 KOs outside wall, that inside wall there. Almost got the pit walls there, and they'll spin it out there. Unfortunate. Those are speeding penalties and everything else. I presume they're going to get those cleared, especially if you're the 2. I'd expect those to get cleared. Justin Johnson trying to hold on to P2. Here comes Michael Kruger back through the field. He's going to get around the 20. The 20 with the crossover. Now here comes Nicholas Johnson. Side by side here through turn 1. And I'll say that Kruger and Nicholas, they drive pretty comparable, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but they're really aggressive, right? Everybody back single file. You see a battle further on back to 77, and that's the 88, I believe, further on back. And that's Preston and Launchslager back there battling it out for P10. But once again, you're starting to see the single file action start to work again. You'll see everybody start to slinky back out, try to make some works happen, try to get settled back in. Justin Johnson trying to run down the number 11. Charles Roberson, he's looked very, very quick all race long. Remember, made some contact with the 77 machine of Lautenschlager. And guess what? He said, well, that sucks, but I'm going to drive my way back up to the front. I'm going to continue to pull away from the rest of the field here. Michael Kruger, you see, trying to hunt down the 22. Justin Johnson. Justin getting some draft, though, trying to hunt down the 11. See the both the front and the back here from the 22s on board. And I know it might not sound that significant, but those little lifts that you see Justin doing, that does burn up the tires, right? Someone who's really good at Pocono, someone who can gauge that tunnel turn where they can get in the gas and not have to worry about lifting it out. Because that just means you overdrove the corner, you have to lift it. Not only does that burn the tire up, that gives up time. $10 all over the back end of this 22 machine. Kruger showing that why he might be the favorite to take it tonight here from Pocono. He's all over the back end of this 22, trying to take over the P2 spot. Like everybody single file for the most part. It looked like a little battle back here. Outside the top 10 is, oh wow, the 42, I believe that was Stranger up in an outside wall. He keeps it up. I had to yank it off the wall there out of turn 3. That's going to lose him a lot of time as well. Battle up front here. 22 starting to run down. That 11 machine, I don't know, maybe Michael's trying to push him up. But regardless, 11 is backed up to the 22. Putting the pressure on Justin once again. We've seen how hard it is to pass here on the bottom. I think the 10's got a little bit of a better car. You can look inside here. Big one. Once again. The Toppage is so good at defending here at Pocono. It's going to be hard to make this fast. Going to maybe need a mistake out of the 22, or potentially for Justin to go down there. Really good corner for the 22. They get side by side with the 11. This is the only opportunity that this 10 might have, is if they get side by side here. He might be able to get around one and then try to get around the other. So here comes the 10 down pit road. The green flag pit cycle's underway. Here comes the 10 and the 20. I don't think you can make it with 40 laps. Maybe they're trying to split it, 20 and 20 potentially, but that leaves a huge gap here from second back to third there. It's another Penske line forward there, back to Wyatt Robertson and Cody Meadows back and forth. So it's going to be Team Penske, really, second, third, fourth, trying to run down the Toyota of Charles Roberson. Everybody's starting to single file out, trying to slinky around. Now the 11, he's got some lap traffic in front of him. I believe that's one of the Rick Ware Fords. I believe the 51 of Trusty potentially. This got Trusty in the 51. Gonna give some dirty air. Gonna grieve this, not intentionally, of course, but gonna give some dirty air to the 11. Gonna make this car not drive as well. This can allow potentially the 22 to get up and make something happen here. Because the 51 isn't really off the pace. I mean, he's definitely slower, but he's not, like a moving chicane here. He's still trying to hold his own here, trying to stay on the lead lap. Actually trying to stay one lap down. I feel like this is even a more important battle if you're this 51, right? Because it's easy to, to get a caution here, maybe get the lucky dog. But if you go 2 laps down, it's a lot harder to put yourself in a good spot here. But you'll see the 51 to the bottom. He's going to be defensive here. No, he's just going to let the 11 go, it looks like. Going to let the 22 go. Ooh, really close for Justin Johnson there. And Justin wasn't really able to close the gap. Even though the 11 was a little bit held up, maybe a little bit of dirty air to the 11 machine. This 11 just looks hooked up right now. Now the question is when do these leaders come down pit road? All right, we saw the 10, we saw the 20 come down here with 40 to go. When do you see these guys take the hard left turn down pit road? When we get the opportunity to, we'll go through the field here. Looking at Charles Roberson here in the 11. Good race for him, for sure. Justin Johnson, he's led some laps here tonight in that number 22 machine. Wyatt Roberts in that number 21 machine. He looks really good as well. He slowly works his way back up inside the top 3. Cody Meadows, good recovery for him. He started all the way back 20s and 24th, right? He's up inside the top 4. Thomas Flynn trying to hold on back there in P5. Jeff Weimer, Craig Larnslaughter bounded out for P6 here. And now Jeff keeps the spot right now in that 60 machine. But further back, Isaac Johnson. Remember, he got caught up in a wreck, at a couple of wrecks this race. He's back up inside the top 8. Terrence Preston in 9th, and a good run for Steven Sear back up here inside the top 10. And John Hopley as well, back in 11th. I'll give a shout out to John, Eugene Thorne, Matt Medler, Larry Fairman. A lot of, guys who we don't see a ton up here inside the top 15, having some good races for themselves here at Pocono. And it's just a testament to keeping the car as clean as you can and having some good races for themselves. See 35 laps to go here from Pocono. It said 60% fuel on the thing. I don't know what that will conclude to in laps. I presume that you saw those guys come down at lap 60 because they're going to probably try to split this last run in half, right? And the good thing about Pocono is that it's so big that you could pit and stay on the lead lap, right? Mike Kruger, Mark Gonzalez, Nicholas Johnson back there. 16, 17, 18th. They are about 30 odd seconds behind your race leaders, but they're still in the lead lap, right? They're about 3/4 of a lap down. But still definitely on the lead lap here. I'm a little unsure how far you can go on field here, but we've ran. Now this is our 20th lap here for the leaders. I'm interested to see when these guys decide to come down pit road and take their final stop here. And if they could maybe make it to lap 30 with like 30 to go and split this into maybe like, 15 and 15 maybe. I'm unsure. I just know that they can't make it on field. There's no way. So I guess it's just a strategy of like when you come down, do you try to just stretch it as long as you can and make it one stop here, right? If you can go 30 laps, they only have to go around 4 more times. Right now 3 to make it back around. Wondering if any of these guys are trying to save some fuel here. No, I don't really see any fuel saving right now. I mean, I do see Justin. He's not using the shifts aggressively, right? He's using them, when he needs to, right? He's not really like using the downshifts to help the car get slowed down and stuff. He's being pretty gentle. He's keeping the car in fifth, what makes me think that maybe fuel. He might be thinking about it. Maybe this is just the way he's going to drive the car. You see right there. Like, he could have downshifted a lot earlier to help, like, almost engine brake to get more out of the corner. Right now you see him, he's just kind of through the center. That's when he downshifts, right? To get a little bit, more RPMs out of the corner. Go up to Charles. Is he saving fuel at all? I presume he's not because he's leading the field. Trying to get away from the 22. Oh, he is saving fuel. So maybe there are some games to be played here. We'll see what he's doing here in the turn 1. Actually pull up his inputs here in the 11 machine. But he's using that downshift early. Like I was saying, that I was surprised that the 22 wasn't doing. He's using it early to get this car slowed down here. We heard a little bit of a clutch here in the turn 3. And the downshift in the turn 2. I'll get the car slowed down. Kind of smart. No clutching this time. Yeah, I see some blinking out here. Yeah, I thought maybe fuel saving was something we could be talking about, but I don't know, maybe he just tried it that one time and decided it wasn't worth it. I'm not sure, but you see now 30 to go here from Pocono. We're getting down to it, right? I mean, we're only a couple laps away from potentially making it all the way on fuel. Like, they ran 24 laps now, right? And we're with 30 to go. So as we continue to run laps here, we get the 25 and then the 29 to go, right? 25 laps are in, 29 to go. And then we'll get the 26, 28. So if they can get the 27 to go, that will put it right on the dot, right? To make it on fuel, potentially, right? They could potentially go more, and I don't know, right? But you see, you know, now a 3.5 second gap, almost 4 seconds back. To the 12 of Cody Meadows. He's trying to get around the 51 of Trusty here. Hasn't been able to do it. Well, you see the 12 really tight behind that 51 machine. That might allow this 21 to pounce here. Obviously, two teammates. His dirty air is really affecting this 12. I don't know, maybe Cody used up his stuff a little bit too much here. The dirty air really affecting this number 12 machine. Justin Johnson takes the race lead. Here comes Charles Roberson down pit road. So with 28 to go, the 11 decides to make the hard left turn down pit side. Take his final stop of the, potentially the final stop of the race for him. Here comes the 2, I believe, of Mark Gonzalez. He's coming down pit side here. But Justin Johnson coming through 3 and 4. Does he react to the 11? Does he come down pit road now? Here he comes. Yeah, here comes the 22 of Justin Johnson. Wyatt Roberts got around. As here comes all the Team Penske Fords here down pit road here on lap number 73 with 28 to go. Here comes a plethora of cars. Here's the 24 in the back there. I think that is the 4, I believe that's the 4 John Hopley down pit side. But 4 tires and fuel here. Steven Sear gets to lead a lap here at Pocono. He's got Isaac Wilson behind there. Shane Johnson back to P3. Now I'm looking here at Michael Kruger, right? Where does he come out here in this little best? And he undercut a lot versus these guys. Looks like he's going to come out ahead of Justin. Where's Roberson right here? He's back here at P6. But Justin Johnson, he's all the way back here. All the way back here. He's got about a 7.5 second gap. Back to Michael Kruger, who's already come down pit road. The issue is Michael trying to save fuel at all? I don't see anything through 1 and 2. I'm just unsure what the pit window is, right? Because I feel like if you could have pit, 14 laps ago, people would have pit a little bit closer to this 10 machine, right? I just don't know if the 10 can make it on fuel. And you see Steven Sear, Isaac Wilson, Shane Johnson still out on track here. I can kind of understand the strategy here. Trying to hope for a caution, but once again, I feel like this is also a bad strategy because this track is so big. You're not trapping cars a lap down, right? The most you can do is run it out to the best of your ability, right? And a hope that there's a caution that would force everybody else back down pit road with you. It looks like Seaman has a little bit more fuel. A little bit. It looks like he came down pit road before a lot of these other people did, because now he's only on his 25th lap, right? When does the 5 come down pit side? He'll come this time by. So I'll hand the race lead back over to the number 10 machine, Michael Kruger. He's still, about half, he's not even through turn 3 yet. Now here comes Michael Kruger out of turn 3. He'll re-inherit the race lead here with a pretty sizable gap back to Justin Johnson. Be about almost 8 seconds back. I'm interested to see where Steven comes out of this whole mess, right? See him out of pit road now. He's going to come out around the 11th, the 12th, 13th area. See him right there on the left side of your screen. About 13th for Steven. But he's got, you know, about anywhere from 3 to 16 lap pressure tires. So, granted, we look back here, he's about 24 seconds off the race leader, Michael Kruger. Got about a 6-second gap back to even John Hopley, who pitted a couple laps before him, right? Gonna have a lot of time to make up here, but Michael Kruger continuing to pull away from the rest of the field here. See about starting to heat up here for P2. Justin's got a teammate there. That's Mark Gonzalez. Remember, he got caught down pit road with the incident with him in the 48 of Joey Maines. He's sitting right in front of the 22. Granted, he's going to give some draft to the 22, but during the corners, he's going to give that dirty air, right? And Justin is just trying to hold on, because this is potentially the battle for the win if that 10 cannot make it on fuel. All over the back end of this 22 machine. And they have about a 3-second gap back to P4 technically, back to Lautenschlager, and then Lautenschlager has about a 2-second gap back to him, right? So here comes Michael Kruger down pit road. So he could not make it on fuel. So I'll hand the race lead over to Justin Johnson. Looking underneath Justin here for the race lead. Not going to make it happen. The 22's got the draft, right? Which is going to really hurt this 11's ability to make the pass here. He's going to have to try the top. He wants to do it. Try to get the momentum built up. And then try to get side by side, at least side by side, like fender to fender here. Do one of the straights. Craig in the background there, about 3 seconds back. When one of these guys start to fight it out, can allow him to maybe close in slowly but surely to this battle for the lead. He needs the 22 and the 11 to start going at it. The issue is that the 11 just cannot get to the 22 here. I wonder if Justin wants the 2 in front to keep the draft, or if he's going to try to wave himself by sooner or later here. Right now, he was pretty content. Now he'll wave himself by. He probably just told Mark, okay, I can't. I mean, Mark, it looks like, was trying to stay on the lead lap. So I think he was trying to do I think as a teammate, Justin was trying to do the best thing for his team, right? And Penske to try to keep that 12 on the lead, on that 2 machine on the lead lap. But now he's like, hey, I'm trying to keep you back up here, but the 11's all over me. I got to go, right? Looking for some battles further throughout the pack here. Isaac Wilson further back here. Terrence Preston, John Hopley, 7th, 8th, 9th. Guy's still trying to battle it out here. Everybody else kind of in their own place here, trying to do what they need to. It's a close battle is right here on track for 7th, 8th, and 9th. To the inside. Gonna try to make something work here into turn 1. No. Here comes John Hopley trying to use the outside. Trying to get to the quarter panel of the 88. Not gonna make it work. Oh, might get it now. He's got a little bit of a draft. The 88's just gonna let him have it. Moving on up. Still Roberson. Actually, who got around the 22 of Justin Johnson. And now you're starting to see the mind games here. Justin got to the top side though. This is really the only way you can make the pass work. A good run through 2 for the 22 machine. Not going to be able to get to the rear end once again, I don't think. This is the only way I think that the 22 can make something work is by using this top. By just trying to get the momentum. Trying to get back side by side. Obviously the blinking is not helping this 22's mission to get back up there. Oh, he's there again here in the turn 1. Carlos has to give him the spot. He has to give him the room at the very least. Justin trying to do anything he can here in these last 14 laps to keep up, but this 11 is starting to slowly pull away here. Thorne. Terrence Preston. I thought these guys were battling it out here. No. Oh, Terrence Preston on pit side here. That's what that was. '77 gets around the 45 of Shane Johnson here for P13. Wyatt Roberts starting to run down the 12 of Cody Meadows. Try the top side here. Cody looks like he might just wave him through. He does. Really impressive run by Wyatt. Back up inside this top 5 again. Charles Roberson had just gotten up and gotten away from the 22 machine. Granted, lucky for Justin here, 24. Thomas Wynn, he's outside the top 10, right? He's running down the 43 of Metler. He should probably easily get around them, but he's not going to be in any place unless we get a caution here in these last 10 laps to be near this 22. As long as that 22 can make it on fuel, I guess, right? Thomas just came down 8 laps ago, so he's going to have a faster car than some of these other guys. Last lap for, well, actually, I don't know, because remember, the dirty air does play a lot here, because last lap for Thomas was a 53.9, right? $53.81. So, and then, like, you look at Charles here, he's running a 53.87, so 53.62 for Justin. So he's not running enough to, like, drive through the field or anything special there. He will get up to P11 as he gets around to 43, but Flynn nowhere to be found here with 9 to go. You know, it's funny, we talked to Angel last week, as he won last week from Michigan, about how he tied Charles Roberson for the most wins of all time here in the Cup Series. I think Charles heard that and said, hey, I got to put the time in here from Pocono, right? I got to get it done here, because if he can hold on for 9 more laps, he will actually break that tie once again with Angel, up to 19 wins here in the iSNF Cup Series in his career. His internet also needs to hold on here for now 8 more laps. We've seen him blink, you know, throughout the whole race. It's little spurts, but it's still blinking, right? You see just the spread gap here. You see, you know, Roberson, Johnson within half a second of each other. You see 10 seconds back to Jeff Weimer. Not 5, not 2, 10 seconds back. Jeff Weimer into 60. And what a run for this whole 60 team, right? Jeff, he's in the chase, right? but just has not shown the speed we're used to seeing here. So here comes the 60 down pit road. Man, could not make it on fuel. He has to come down with something to go. That's probably where that track position came from. He still had to come down pit side. That tells me right there, he's got 22 laps on this stint. Can anybody go all the way, right, without having to save? Here comes Steven Sear. Remember, he's got 17 laps. He's got to go, what, 24 laps here? Can Steven Sear steal this one if everybody has to pit? Granted, he's 25 seconds back. He's not running faster than the leaders. Justin Johnson, actually. Wait a second. Sorry, no, you're right. Okay, I'm right. I was looking at the started column instead of the stint column. So yeah, I thought Justin pitted 8 laps ago and somehow got back up here. No, he started 8th. Up to P2. But like you say, Isaac has a little bit more fuel in the tank. Steven Sear has a little bit more fuel in the tank. You look at Michael Kruger back in 8th. He has a little bit more fuel in the tank. Can these guys go the whole distance here without having to pit? I believe that's your race leader, Charles Roberson, on pit road. Okay. So now it's a game of chess. Can you save enough to make it to the end, right? Have you been saving, right? Is that maybe why Justin was sitting behind the 2, right? Running half throttle or something, trying to make sure something happens here. I don't hear saving whatsoever out of the 22. So here comes the 22 down pit side. Very interesting. The White Roberts, actually. Is he going to come down pit road here? He stays out for one more lap. Will he get the lap lead bonus, though? I don't think he will, because the start finish time was all the way back there. Well, this changes a lot up, right? Isaac Wilson now. Up to P2. With 4 to go, who can make it, right? Has Wyatt been saving fuel, right? He has. Right, 1 and 2. Yeah, look at this. Look how much he's trying to save to make it here on fuel. The issue is, and the good thing for White is that Isaac is not pushing to get around him, right? I mean, he's running around somewhat equal lap times. There was a 54.4 to a 54.1. That is not enough time to catch up to the 21 machine. So now the question is, can Wyatt make it on fuel here? And Johnson and Robertson 12 seconds back. Something catastrophic to the 21 would have to happen. If he ran out or something, coming out at 2, right? Something like that. If every driver ran out at 2, then maybe Johnson and Robertson could have a shot here. But with 11, now, 11 and a half, 12 seconds back, there's not a shot. If this 21 can make it, that they're going to get back up to the front. And Wyatt Roberts just a lap and a half away from getting his first win of the season. You see back there in the background, Isaac Wilson, potentially another podium spot for him if he could hold on. And Steven Sear trying to hold on here. Cody Meadows putting the pressure on. Remember, Steven has the fuel to make it. Cody Meadows, I think, is saving. He's definitely saving. White flag in the air. Wyatt Roberts takes the white flag here for Pocono for the Keystone 250. Does he have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way here to get his first win in the iSNF Cup Series? Two fine on Herney stumbling. And through the final set of corners, he can just literally coast to the line if he wants to. Wyatt Roberts across the stripe here. He's going to win week number 20 here for the Keystone 250. Wyatt Roberts gets his first win in the iSNF Cup Series. What a strategy call. Team Penske will go back to victory lane once again here in season number 11. And the last time we saw a Penske car in victory lane was probably Cody Meadows, right? Maybe Mark Gonzalez. And I think he's out of fuel. See someone will give him a push. Michael Kruger, AWC rival, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you, White was probably a big reason why Michael came down and raced with us tonight. Michael Kruger gets a top 5 for himself. So a good run for Michael in his debut. Led several laps tonight. But tonight, it goes to the 21. Wyatt Roberts, his first win of the season. Steven Sear at top 3. Isaac Wilson in his couple of races back, he gets a P2 finish. And what a strategy call here. As you see now, Steven Sear out of fuel as well. See Cody Meadows right there waiting to congratulate his teammate there on the start-finish line. What a win for Wyatt Roberts there. See him a little bump the 10 there. He's out. He is out of fuel. He's going to hide right behind the pylon, isn't he, here? The Pocono Mountains pylon. We'll see him park that thing right there on the front stretch. Still some congratulatory bumps here. I think Michael's trying to give like some type of celebration for this 21, his first win of the season. Obviously, very well deserved. You look at here at the laps led. 4 laps. That's all it took. But Wyatt Roberts gets it done here from Pocono. Yeah, there you go. A little burnout. There you go. What we like to see. But now he's stuck down here in the turn in between turn 1 and 2 here. Let's go ahead and talk to the driver of the number 21 machine. We'll wait on him actually to join the HVTV booth up here. Go ahead and talk to Wyatt Roberts up here in the HVTV booth.
Whatever.
Hey Wyatt, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, first of all, win number 1 here for the iSNF Cup Series, and what a way to do it, right? I didn't think that fuel strategy was going to be in play here at the end there, but we look at the top 3, and that's exactly what happened, right? You, Isaac, Steven kind of strategized it out. You know, Isaac and Steven, it looked like, you know, just pitted a little bit later to make it a little bit easier. But you just did it the hard way and saved fuel here to the end. You get your first win of the season here from Pocono. What's the feeling?
I mean, it feels good. I was like top 10 car at best. I mean, but I can usually get something done at Pocono on strategy. And I mean, I pitted at the same time as the 11 and the 22, but I was just able to save. I was on the clutch the whole time. I'm like, please no yellow, please no yellow. I'm exactly on the dot, and I ended up exactly on the dot. I literally sputtered across the line, and I'm happy I was able to save it.
We'll talk about, technically, you're a part-time driver here filling in for this 21 machine, just trying to get some reps in, trying to get your name out there in the iSNF Cup Series. What does this win mean to you when it comes to, potentially getting some more opportunities here on Saturdays?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a super good run these past few weeks. I mean, I did have a wreck out at Texas, but other than that, it's been basically all top fives, and finally got a win on the board. I mean, it means a lot. Hopefully, get signed on some good team, I'll get some opportunities, and have a really good season next season.
And we look forward to season 12 to see where you land here. Obviously, you're going to be a hot free agent to pick up here. As you said, you've been, continuing to be a top 5 driver here every time you show up here to the track. So we look forward to seeing what you can do in season 12 here for the Cup Series. But once again, another congratulations here. Your first win of the season here from Pocono. But before I let you go, why anybody want to thank, shout out, or appreciate for tonight's win here from the Tricky Triangle?
Yeah, thanks to my dad who's watching all the broadcast races. Happy finally got to watch a win, and also shout out to my grandma. And shout out to the Penske boys. They helped some with the fuel strategy, although I think they unfortunately kind of decided to give up on it, but I think they still got some good finishes. And then shout out to you guys at HVTV. I'm happy to finally get my first win on the platform.
Yeah, about time here for Wyatt. Obviously, you've been on on here for quite some time, but once again, congratulations to you and this whole 21 team. We look forward to see what you can do next week from Nashville.
Yeah, thank you.
Wyatt Roberts finally gets that one under his belt, and he's gonna be dangerous coming into the rest of the season here as we look forward into this. So we look at Steven Chu. He led a couple laps tonight. Let's go talk to the P3 finisher for tonight's race here for Pocono. Hey, Steven, is Christian up here in the HVT booth? You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, a P3 finish for you in this whole 5 team. Obviously, a little bit of a pit strategy that went in your favor. You, the 40 and the 21 there, you get yourself a podium finish. I believe your first one of the season here from the Tricky Triangle. What's the feeling? You know what did it take to get up inside the podium here from Pocono?
Yeah. Yes, actually, second one. I got one at iRacing
That's
Super
right.
Speedway.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that is right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a long time. I haven't had a lot of top fives this year, so it's been kind of a up and down year. But yeah. I mean, I guess an unfortunate thing turned into a fortunate thing is I smacked the wall pretty hard coming off a 3. Ended up with a bunch of toe damage. Coming towards the end of the second stage, and luckily there was a caution not long after, and then with the stage caution I was able to get my damage fixed, but I still needed to take tires. And then there was a stack up there in turn 1 right away, so I was able to take some more fuel and tires, and that set me on the correct strategy to just kind of save fuel to the last pit stop. And I was able to pit with 25 to go, and that got me perfect. I ran out. I started sputtering there, going into 1 after the checkered, so worked out perfect.
Yeah, it did work out perfect for you in this whole 5 team. And obviously, talking us through Pocono, obviously, we saw, for the most part, it looked like it was pretty hard to pass. It seemed like even if you got a run onto the bottom, you tried to make the sin down there. The momentum on the top just really made it hard to pass here, especially if you had guys behind you who could just basically freight train you. Walk us through, kind of the difficulties of tonight's race.
Yeah, I mean, dirty air was king today. That was the real winner today, was dirty air. I mean, if you're behind someone, even if you're able to get a toe off of them, if they ran your line, you're going to wash up. And for some reason, turn 1, I know for me, I know some of my teammates were complaining that turn 1 was just extra tight today, and that's such a crucial corner to set you up for the rest of the lap. And yeah, it was tough. I mean, normally I could cross someone over, like coming off a 2, let him go into 2, cross him over into 3, and it just wouldn't work today. I mean, so it was just passes were few and far between. Yeah, just kind of the way it worked today.
Do you think with it being that hard to pass, that kind of set it up for you guys to potentially try something fuel wise, like you, and then obviously the podium finishes here? Do you think that was more incentivized to try to do something different versus other people because it was so hard to pass this race?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a track position race and a purely a strategy race. It kind of turned into a classic Pocono race that we see on TV with the real life guys, where it ends up being purely fuel strategy, trying to outrun the other guy just on fuel mileage. And that's what it came down to today. It was fuel mileage, and some of the fastest cars ended up behind us, top 3, just because the way the fuel mileage worked for them.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of put on the dot there. We saw some of the faster guys; they just couldn't make it on fuel. They had to come down and take a splash and go, and it allowed you, Isaac and White, to cycle back up to the field there. But you get your second podium at finish of the season here, and obviously, counting down, towards the last couple weeks of the season here, a really good way to end season 11 there. So once again, Steven, another congratulations on another podium finish here from the Tricky Triangle. Before I let you go, anybody you want to thank, appreciate, or shout out for tonight's run?
Yeah, I want to thank Rhea for putting on the league, the other admins for helping out, especially during my absence the past 3 weeks. I also want to thank Katie and my dad. They've been supportive and on Saturdays of me racing. So, and you for broadcasting this. You've been doing a pretty solid job all year.
Well, we definitely appreciate the kind words up here in the booth. And once again, another congratulations to you, Steven, on another good run. Hopefully you can take this momentum into Nashville, and we can maybe talk to you some more up here in the HVTV booth.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you. Have a good rest of the night.
Thanks.
Stevens here comes home P3 for tonight's race. I do not see Isaac Wilson in any VC, so I guess we will not be talking to your P2 finisher tonight. So yeah, definitely an interesting race. I'm not going to say it got boring, but obviously that's kind of the way that Pocono goes sometimes. When it's hard to pass, you just kind of have to sit and, try to figure out strategy-wise, and we just saw kind of the same guys around, and then obviously it got exciting towards the end because people had to pit, people had to save fuel, people had to, try to make it to the end there, and that's what's exciting about Pocono is always the strategy. Every time we come here, when you can't pass, it always comes down to strategy. It comes down to fuel. It comes down to, like, can he make it? Can he not? Who has to pit? Who doesn't? And it's always so intriguing to see that. You don't go to a lot of tracks that are like this anymore, where it's always down to fuel mileage. I mean, Pocono is so big that you can afford to save a lot of fuel here because it's so big, and the corners are so, you have to really slow down in the corners. You can afford to just clutch in and kind of coast around like you saw the 21 do to get his first win of the season, and it's always super interesting to see how stuff goes around here. But let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results and wrap up tonight's broadcast here for the Keystone 250 here from Pocono Raceway. Obviously, we talked to Wyatt Roberts. Congratulations to him on his first win here. Obviously, he's been on the network a lot and being very supportive of everything here. He gets his first win in the season here from Pocono. Isaac Wilson, he gets a P2 finish here. Obviously, I believe he's gotten a podium a couple times here throughout the season, but I've never got to talk to him, unfortunately. Steven Sear comes home P3, and we talked to him. Really excited to see that 5 up inside, being competitive again. He's kind of had that Kyle Larson kind of, slash here where Larson, it's been a while since Larson has won a race, and it's hard to hear that, but it's definitely interesting to say, but Steven coming back here with the podium finish. You see Justin Johnson back there in P4. He gets a good finish after, and everybody else back on had to, come down pit road at some time, shape, or form, right? Justin Johnson comes home P4. Michael Kruger comes home P5. A really good debut for him in that whole 10 team. Well, I'm looking forward to see if, he gets some more opportunities here in these last couple weeks here for season 11. Thomas Flynn, we talked about Justin wanting the nickel and dime him. Thomas did a different strategy. He pitted before to make sure he can make it to the end. Justin pitted towards the end to do a splash and go. He still gets 2 spots over the 24, but he's going to need some more spots if he wants to continue to run run that 24 down, right? Because I believe he came in, 55 points back getting, 2 or 3 points a race is not going to get there, right? He needs to have a huge Nashville and obviously a huge championship finale there at Chicagoland if he even wants a shot to get to that 24 for the championship there. But regardless, Thomas Flynn, P6. Jeff Weimer comes home P7, a good top 10 run for him. Craig Launchslader recovers back to a P8, and John Hopley, P9. Matt Medler rounds out the top 10. A really good finish for the 4 in that 43 machine. Looking further back here, P11 will go to Terrence Preston in that 88 machine. Eugene Thorne back here in P12. Shane Johnson, P13. Cody Meadows rounds out the lead lap cars back there in 14th. I expected Cody to have a little bit more pace there, but just couldn't figure it out tonight here from Pocono. Charles Robeson out early. I'm surprised to see what happened with the 11 because he wasn't in contention for the win. Obviously, the fuel strategy didn't work for him, but decided to park it a little early here from tonight. He comes on P15. Larry Fairman back there in P16, 1 lap down, as well as Mark Gonzalez in the 2. Another, poor finish for that 2 machine. He showed some pace. Scott Trusty back there in the 51. He'll be 2 laps down in the 18th. Nicholas Johnson, 8 laps down in 19th. And Joey Maines, 11 laps down and back there in 20th. And rounding out the rest of the field tonight here, out early, James Bowles, Parker Stringent, Mike Iskandar, Chris Otto, Will Austin, Bob Wyckoff, Rhea Ferris, Alyssa Sharp, and David Anderson, all ending the night early here from Pocono. But obviously, a new graphics package here for tonight, so we appreciate the patience, I guess if you want to call it, here from the Tricky Triangle, as obviously we could not get our normal ticker and graphics package up for you guys here for the iSNF Cup Series. We do appreciate you guys, having some patience with us up here in the booth. Obviously, we're obviously used to having the ATVO stuff up, and I plan on in the background potentially starting to get some stuff put together so you guys can have a little bit more customizability here on for iSNF. We'll just have to see how that works out here. But once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out and watching tonight's broadcast here from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, as we congratulate Wyatt Roberts on his first win of the season. Once again, my name is Christian Legato, your lead producer and commentator. Just in about half an hour to an hour, we'll be back on here for HVTV After Dark. It looks like it's going to be next gen. Let me see what the official schedule is. Next gen Bristol Dirt and O'Reilly Dega. So if you guys are looking to run some fun races here, it's gonna be a little 2-lap broadcast here. As I'm honestly pretty exhausted just from doing this, yet less doing that. So we're just gonna do 2 races tonight here, this Saturday, and I can't wait. But once again, my name is Christian Legato, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here for the Keystone 250. We once again congratulate Wyatt Roberts on his first win of the season, and we'll get ready to head into Nashville Super Speedway next week here as we come to the iSNF Cup Series Week 21 as we head to the penultimate race of the season here for Season 11, as we'll see who can get it done there from Middle Tennessee. But once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out, watching tonight's broadcast, and for everybody over here at High Velocity TV, we appreciate everybody for their support. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like, sharing the broadcast with friends and family, whether you're watching over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13 or over on the High Velocity TV YouTube channel, we appreciate all the love and support. And once again, you've been watching an HVTV production of the iSNF Cup Series. Hope everybody has a great rest of their Saturday. We'll see you guys soon.